Welcome back to Africa This Morning. We are now on Table Talk. Is it possible to have it all? A balanced life? And for some of us, a great job that would translate to a silo type of account. Joining us to discuss the possibility of reaching for utopia is Mbugua Mumbi, an author, motivational speaker, and a mentor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Beryl.
Tell us, we are all struggling for something. We are reaching for something. Leave the great visions and the missions out. We are reaching for that possibility where we can have a happy work life and a happy home life. Is it possible?
That's a good question, Beryl. I think it's a question that has been asked throughout the ages. Every human being is looking for success, for greatness, for fulfillment, for a holistically balanced life, from emotional, spiritual, financial, and so on and so forth. And I think to a large extent, we can borrow from a management model called the balance scorecard to try and see whether it is possible. Traditionally, business is thought the only important thing as far as business is concerned was a financial perspective. Are we making money? Are we profitable? And so on and so forth. Then over time, they have realized this narrow perspective does not guarantee long-term success. And they have come up with a new model called the balance scorecard. And they have identified 4 key pillars that would help the business to run and be sustained in the long term. We have come with a pillar of people, very important because people deliver. Customer who generate the income to the company, the processes that help to deliver these and finding out the money. I think similarly in life, to me the most important question is, do I know what success is? What does it comprise? So that it's like asking myself, do I know where I am going? If I know where I am going, then do I know when I want to arrive there? Then do I know the means? Because I want to say this, Beryl. This world is like, would I say, like a jungle. We have all manner of animals. We are like hunters. If I go hunting every Monday like today, to me the most important question is, which animal am I going to hunt? Once the animal that I'm going to hunt is identified, then the strategies are clear. And the moment I know the hunt becomes very easy. It determines when I wake up, which part of the forest, what tools, my likely partners, and so on and so forth. I think the big challenge I see is that we have not clearly identified at personal level what is success to me. And although it is not very easy to achieve, that level of balance where everything seems to be, strong on cloud 9. I think once you identify the key pillars that define your success, then you can be able to channel and to fairly distribute the resources available to help you in achieving through those pillars. That's my take.
How do we do that? What are some of the attributes that we have in life that we should pull in to ensure that we identify the pillars, and the right pillars at that, considering that we have so many aspects that are clouding our judgment on our definition for success?
That's important. I think the first thing is for me to appreciate that greatness or success or a fulfilled life is our divine destiny, if you ask me. It is possible to be successful and to have a fairly fulfilled life. And having said that, then I need to ask myself, then, when I have defined my success, which I can see clearly in my mind, and I know where I'm going, then what will help me to reach there? Probably one of the key pillars could be my family. I would want to see my children in future being responsible, self-aware, to be able to manage their own lives, so that I'm investing in them to be able to lead the kind of life they desire. It could be also finances. I want to admit that probably there is no meaningful success, fulfilled life that you probably can achieve without money. Just like probably you cannot say I'm very, very healthy and I don't have vitamins. But money, it does not have to be the only thing. There's so much focus, there's so much obsession on money that sometimes then we tend to sacrifice the other pillars that are important. Maybe the other pillar that I need to identify for myself is my spirituality, in terms of who really am I and what is within me in terms of potential, where am I coming from, what is my source, and so on and so forth. Maybe the other pillar could be like relational, because human beings are relational beings. Like trees grow in the forest, like animals live in the forest, we live in the forest of people. Everything I need in this world is with somebody else. I just need to relate with them for them to be able to to get motivated and share it with me, for me to share something else with them. So it is those kind of periods that we need to identify, and then we ask ourselves, then how do we nurture and manage those periods? How do we share out the time resource that we have to be able to fairly move on and balance and drive these periods? But if you're asking ourselves, is there an ideal balance? Sometimes it's not easy. I must appreciate it's not easy, because you're young and you're looking at, when do I want to make my first million? You're young and you're like, I got a job overseas and my family is here. What do? I cannot relocate them. What methodologies can I use to ensure I'm still in constant contact with my family? Because there's some responsibilities that can be derogated. There are probably others that require your very, very keen and constant attention. Yes.
When you're looking at the 21st century, we'll be realistic, and I like the fact that you admitted that it's a bit difficult to achieve goals, especially when you don't have money. We struggle to create that balance between home life and work life. What are some of the mistakes we're making? One, prioritizing money a bit too much. Two, you've identified the fact that we need to ensure that we have relations. What are some of the other mistakes that we need to be very keen on to ensure that we stay on course, if not just start creating a strategy that will work as of now?
I think from my perspective, I have seen a situation where sometimes we get so much obsessed with money that we of course forget the other key pillars like family and so on and so forth. I have seen that a lot, where, for example, most of us are chasing for symbols in life. It's chasing for the next bank balance, for the next car, for the next title in the office, for the next, and so on and so forth. And that comes, of course, at a price of even your own self-awareness and personal development. And sometimes it can have an imbalance on your emotions, on your self-discovery, and other key pillars like even relationship, and so on and so forth. And I think one of the things I have seen, when I was growing up, when I got married and both my wife and myself, we were working, then thank God somebody had mentored us about the family and the importance of being available for your children. And we did a big sacrifice where my wife, mutually, through mutual agreement, resigned from employment to take care of the children. And that, in honest opinion, has generated great dividends for ourselves, because we felt that we could focus so much on earning the money, but what may happen in the future? We may end up taking our children to rehabs, and the very same money we had saved probably is now used for non-productive things, and so on and so forth. The other mistake I see quite often is that sometimes you're ignorant on what we need, for example, to create wealth, to create money. Because I think sometimes it's not the amount of time we are putting into it. It's not how we are running helter-skelter every day. And I think we need also to appreciate, where does money come from? Because most of us really want money. I want money. And my opinion, my considered opinion, is that money or wealth is a byproduct of service. Wherever you are, at the workplace, in whatever institution, at home, at church. And I realize, and I normally give this example, look at an orange tree. The oranges are hidden within the tree. And the orange tree can give us many, many things. It has many talents. It can give us shade, charcoal, firewood, mulching, and so on and so forth. But these giftings and talents are hidden within the tree. And you see, the orange tree becomes an orange tree because it shares. It has agreed to give. Because it was given freely, by the way. And you've never seen an orange tree eat its own oranges, no matter the situation, no matter. The oranges are meant to be shared, given out, to be spread. And the more they are shared and given out, the more it becomes a bigger, better orange tree.
Renowned and stronger.
Let's kindly go back to the basics and appreciate the fundamentals. Humanity was created for service, for serving. If I am employed in my role, a job role, the best way, the easiest way to get quick promotion is to serve with my heart. Selflessly is to give what is within me. And within no time, irrespective of my level of education, I will have risen so fast. My salary would have so much changed. The same case in business. If I am in business, many business people focus on money and they forget the aspect of serving, uplifting life. Whatever product, whatever service that you have, you're engaged in, it's basically meant to uplift a life when somebody uses it. But sometimes we don't focus so much on that. We focus on the on the profitability. Sometimes we're not very honest in terms of the way we are doing it. At the end of the day, what happens then? We lose the big picture about our business and about our life. I think I want to say this. I have realized that I was created to give and to serve. And every time I'm engaging in a particular task, I want to give it my very best. And when you give it your very best, what happens? Oh my God, people become your supporters. Organizations, other people actually refer you to others and your business grows. But if you don't deliver, if you shortchange people, people will not certainly be your ambassadors of what you do.
I can remember men of old who are known for their wisdom and their wisdom in form of words. Socrates, you remember Alexander the Great, Aristotle. These are men who shared their wisdom in their words. Alexander the Great died very young and he gave himself and served the population. He was one of the leaders who amassed wealth and territories beyond his Grecian background. But they never had very fulfilling family lives. Is that the sacrifice you have to make?
Well, maybe not. Maybe then probably they didn't appreciate what they needed. I'm not sure, needed to prioritize. Again, on the basis of the balance scorecard, at least there's some level of balance depending on what you consider to be the most important things in your life. For example, if I think the most important thing in my life is just my career, I may probably not even decide to marry, or I may delay that, and so on and so forth. If I think making money is the most important thing for now, I can probably end up doing that at the sacrifice of my family. I think I want still to emphasize that we need to sit down and analyze and evaluate and ask ourselves that what are those things about me that will be eternal?
Individuality that
will
shines.
be eternal. Beryl, money will not be eternal for me. As soon as I die, it will go. My vehicle will not be eternal. My business will not be eternal to some extent. But my family will be eternal. If it's another world, I will certainly have no doubt interact with them in the other world, because they are human beings like me. So maybe once we identify which are the primary movers of success as defined by yourself, then you're able then to fairly give them that kind of attention. So sometimes, even with wisdom, sometimes you can have stunted wisdom. I'm not sure, but these are great people. Albert Einstein, who said that if I was able to see fire, it's because I perched on the shoulders of giants in terms of mentorship. So I think there's sometimes a thin balance, but I think at the end of the day is, what do I consider as that thing about me, about my life that is eternal, that will help me leave a legacy? The likes of Mother Teresa the Late, the likes of Professor Wangari Maathai the Late, who have left. And actually, if you look at them, and like some of them, even their family life was not very balanced, especially initially, but along the way, I think it evened out. So I think it's a very dicey.
It's about you sitting down to evaluate your life.
Yes, to evaluate your life. Yes.
Share with us your personal story, because when it comes to ensuring that you keep yourself on course, and especially for aspects that are of great value to you, as you've shared, that money will not be eternal the moment you pass on, which will be later in 100 years, I believe. What are some of the ways you're sharing wisdom with your children? How often do you do it? And what do you feel should be done for families when it comes to supplementing the academic with the social, emotional, and mental capacity building for children?
That's a very good question. One of the things we've tried to do is to be available to our children. You see, the way, let me use the example of a hen. If the hen wants her egg to hatch, to bring out the greatness within the egg, the potential within, the hen has to sit on the egg patiently, with commitment, resiliently, with hope, until whatever is inside transforms and comes out. One of the things that, and this is through mentorship that I learned about 5 years ago, is the importance of family meetings. Beryl, over the last 4 years, we've been holding a monthly family meeting in my family. Recorded minutes where we cheer in turns. For real. And you know where I borrow this also from? from the business. When I look at this great organization, I am sure progressive businesses are motivated or are driven by a strategic plan.
Yes.
Very powerful. Probably the most important document in an organization is a strategic plan. In a layman's language, a strategic plan is simply a record of dreams. A record of dreams. Do we have a record of our own dreams, whether written or conceptualized in our mind? Do we have a record of our dreams in our family? And that has helped me. Beryl, my life has changed over the last six years significantly. And there is one particular document that I can credit to this, a personal strategic plan. 6 years ago, I sat down and realized the power is within me. The potential is within me. I'm the driver of my own life. But until and unless I decide where am I going, I will never reach anywhere. So I sat down and wrote down a personal strategic plan. I decided in 5 years this is where I want to be, this is what I want to own. I even decided how I'll be relating. I wrote down how I'll be relating with my wife and my children. And that has brought in my honest opinion, very, very meaningful steps in terms of interaction. And I can say I am proud of my children. One is a teenager. He's only about, he's in Form 2. And he wants to be an engineer. The other one is in class 8. But I think the kind of interaction I see has helped. I have regular meetings with them. Every holiday I have to have a one-on-one, man-man talk. Because I need to appreciate and help them appreciate the changes going through them, their bodies, for example, biological changes, and what that means, and the kind of cautions they need to be aware of as far as relationships. So it has to take an effort. There's no substitution to parenting, and we cannot do it through osmosis. And I don't know the extent to which it is derogatable. I don't know the extent to which it is derogatable.
That's yet to be discovered.
It is yet to be discovered. Because what am I realizing? What have we realized? We're bringing up children, angels, very excited. But at a certain age, maybe from age 17 up to about 30, 35, all of a sudden we realize that their behavior drastically changes and we start losing them. I can tell you here, Beryl, through my experience and mentorship, many parents are ailing. Many parents are stressed. Many parents are depressed because of their children. You see, because along the way, there was some level of imbalance. And along the way, probably, we never gave the family the attention that is due to it. So
and at that point, that is the issue that I'm coming to next. The mistakes that we make, how fast can we redeem our steps the moment we veered off course? How often is it possible to say that we can do this again? And are there times that it is irredeemable? Very good.
Remember when you were in school, your mathematics teacher would give you a sum and tell you, try this sum. Sometimes you could even go for 5 days without ever getting it right. But what happens when the teacher comes to class and they take you through the sum and they give you the formula, like, wow,
that's
didn't I discover that, isn't it? And from that moment, that sum will never be a challenge to you. Can I say this without due respect and humility? The biggest challenge we have with most of us as parents is that we are ignorant. We don't know how to parent. Let's appreciate that. Just like that mathematics sum. We do not know the formula.
And it's not a bad thing not to know how to parent. There's nobody who's mastered parenting.
It is not a bad thing. I think the only bad thing for me is when I refuse to acknowledge that I need help, that I need to be mentored, that I need to go for seminars, that I need to read parenting books. There's some of us who have totally refused, in a sense. So what am I trying to say? You need to acknowledge that I need to see better children. I need to see better relationships. I need to see better communication with my spouse. I need to see better interaction and mentorship with my children. Because I need to be a role model. That's something. And it is not easy. It's not difficult, sorry, like you said. And it's not bad. In all the information that we need is available. It is there in books. It is there in family counselors. It is there in, But until and unless I acknowledge I need help, I need to be a priest, then I may not take the requisite steps for me to be able to acquire that knowledge. Because Socrates, the one that you quoted, said, there is only one good in this world, knowledge. There is only one evil in this world, ignorance. It's really ignorance. And sometimes, let me say this, it is because I don't even know. There are so many things I am ignorant of, Beryl, but I don't even know them. Sometimes
it takes a mistake, a failure, a scar,
Absolutely.
a valley for us to discover
Absolutely.
that this is a challenge.
Absolutely. I'll give you an example where sometimes, and I've seen many schools do this, they organize for parent seminars on parenting. But a few of us probably think, no, that's not for me. I'll not go. I've gone to many schools, and especially these elite schools from these very affluent, sometimes, neighborhoods. And because of how busy we are, we have very little time for our children. So what does that mean? More often, because of lack of presence for our children, we seem just to be throwing presents to our children and so on and so forth. So these children grow, they're really groping in the dark.
Yeah.
They do not know the basics of how even to interact with themselves and to relate with themselves. So I think you said something very important. It never seemed to be ignorant. But I think the worst level of arrogance is the arrogance of ignorance, where you don't know, you don't even know that you don't know.
And you don't care to find out that you don't know.
Yes.
But it's going to be a journey that we're going to be taking with you. It's going to be the 1st of July tomorrow. So we have a whole 6 months possibly for families to redeem time. Work-life balance. Is it possible? I think that's a daily challenge that you will have to take on yourself. But it's not a one-man march. It's a million-man march, I believe. Ask for help. Find out. Wipe out all the ignorance. Knowledge is power. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've been inspired this Monday. From the team here at Ebru Africa and myself, enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Experience all the thrills of live football right in your living room in crystal clear digital quality with StarTimes. For an amazing low price of only 1,999 shillings. And now you can also convert your pay TV set-top box to free-to-air for a one-time fee of 2,500 shillings, or simply select a bouquet of your choice. The StarTimes free-to-air set-top box is now available for only 4,499 shillings. And in addition to 13 free-to-air channels, we're giving you 5 free international channels every month. Both set-top boxes come inclusive of 1 month subscription to our unique bouquet. Score with the best deals in town. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.